Dave, you guys have been very good and very adamant about kind of staying where you're at. You obviously are up 2-0 in this series. That's a very talented team over there with the Brewers. How does this group just kind of maintain the focus, really looking to find a way to potentially close out this series here at home?
I think it's pretty easy. You have a long-term goal to win a championship, and then on the short term, the micro, how do you do that? You just stay in the moment. Don't lose that edge and stay focused. And then it's pretty easy. I mean, there's a lot at stake. So I like getting here, working out, getting our guys kind of get their bodies moving. But like you said, they're a talented team. They're not going to quit, and we still got to keep playing good baseball.
Last year in the postseason, the storyline was limited starting pitching, but having this incredible bullpen. This year, from what we've been able to see, whether it was Blake Snell in Game 1 of this series, Yoshinobu in Game 2, what is it like just having starting pitching as the focus for this group, and how that's been able to kind of control the narrative or even just kind of control what you guys are hoping to achieve?
Well, it's just a different way to, get where we want to go. For me, you just look at the roster and you play the hand you're dealt and try to maximize it. And, this year, fortunately, the health, the performance, the talent level of the starting pitching, we're showing that, we're going to ride them and, challenge them and kind of pivot when we need to. But it's been really good. Different quality of life, I would argue to say better. We still got to go out there and finish the job.
Let's go to Bill all the way on the left, fourth row.
Yeah, David, at one point last week you said we're not going to win the World Series without Shohei getting out of his slump. You've won 7 out of 8 postseason games with him contributing very little offensively. Do you still think it's a necessity?
Well, I do, and I think the contribution is not just by batting average either. Certainly him being in the lineup, posting, I think getting the walks, allowing for Mookie to have opportunities to drive runs in, that's contribution. So for me, I think the first 2 games in Milwaukee, his at-bats have been fantastic. And so that's what I've been looking for. That's what I'm counting on. So I still stand by that. And we got a long way to go to win the World Series.
Fabian, straight back on the left.
Yeah, Dave, to follow up on that, what do you think has been better about Shohei's at-bats this series? And is there anything different that you've seen that the Brewers have done that the Phillies were not doing, or that he was able to react to better than?
I think he's controlling the strike zone. I think he's still staying aggressive when he gets his pitch. There was a line out to the right fielder. There was 3 walks. There was, the base hit in a run, situational opportunity. So those are positives for me. You can only take what they give you. So for me, I think he's in a good spot right now.
Let's come down to the second row on the left. We have Jack, Katie, and Beth.
One more on Shohei. Did you sense any level of frustration from him, especially during the DS when he was struggling at the plate, or even coming into this series? Have you seen him just kind of handle, the way teams have pitched him and the fact that his numbers aren't kind of what we're accustomed to seeing from him?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. And I think that's expected, and I don't mind it. I like the edge. He's obviously a very, very talented player. And we're counting on him. And so for him to realize his own personal expectations, and if they're not realized, then certainly there's frustration. So he's just a great competitor. He's very prepared, and there's still a lot of baseball left.
Dave, one more on the starting pitching. When you look at what your rotation has been able to do all October long, how has it changed how you've managed these ball games? I think that it's sort of broken up into different parts of the year with the starting pitching, where they're at in their workload, how they're throwing the baseball, trying to take a longer view of what's to come, layering that in, and then sort of right now feeling like you've built up enough equity to kind of push them when need be, to also, deploy guys in the pen when I feel the right time. So it's nuanced. There's a lot to it.
but I think certainly I've shown that right now where these guys are at, they're in a good spot to be pushed.
Let's go to Beth on the aisle of the second row.
On that note, Dave, how many more complete games can you get out of your staff?
I'll take as many as we can get. And so, they're doing their part by attacking, being efficient, and putting, themselves in a position to do that.
Looking ahead to Game 4, of course, I know you're focused on 3, but looking ahead to 4 with Shohei due to start, he's been managed so carefully pitching-wise this season. What is realistic in terms of how far he could go, especially if you are in a clinch position that night?
Yeah, I think that for us, getting him through 7 innings, I think twice this year. So I feel, the century mark isn't like necessarily a ceiling on pitches. I think it's just kind of contingent how he's throwing, and he's waited for this moment, and I think that with the rest that he's got going into that game, he's going to be ready to go.
Dave, with the buildup of Shohei throughout the year as a pitcher, the health of Tyler, the health of Blake, when you got all these guys back, have you seen them kind of start to play off each other with their performances, and it's become contagious, kind of?
Absolutely. I think that's kind of, as far as back as time where, as far as baseball time, where starters sort of want to feed off each other, compete against one another, push each other. And that's what, we're sensing from our staff. And it's going to be hard to top Blake and what Yoshinobu did, but I'm sure, Glass is going to, try to put his mark on this CS.
Let's go to John, back right.
Yeah, your starters are all very talented, but your number 4 starter is the best hitter in the league. So presumably he's not pitching a complete game, and you'll probably have to use relievers at some point. Is that fair to say? And what is your confidence level right now at the back end? I assume it's Vesia, Sasaki, and Trinan. And do you have an order there? Who's the closer?
No, I would say I feel really good with those 3 guys finishing the game. So yeah, but I think that I feel comfortable. I feel very comfortable, very confident, and with all those guys and some other guys too, John. So I do think that I'm not going to buy into a certain narrative. I trust our players, and they're going to need to respond when given the opportunity, and that's kind of how I manage, and I think we've had some good success doing it that way.
Let's go to Chelsea, third row on the left.
Hey, Dave, you kind of maybe just answered this, but I know the other day you had mentioned you guys noticed Roki's velo ticking down, and we're just kind of being a little careful there. Is he full go, or any lingering concerns about him after that?
No concerns. Training staff, coaches, everyone feels good. So he's full go, and if his number's called tomorrow night, he'll be ready.
Let's go to Sonia in the middle.
Dave, this is kind of related to Roki, but do you have to, be more mindful of how you use him and kind of check in with him more, given that this is something new and that the velo did go down a little the other day?
I do. No is the question. No is the answer. I do think that there was a slight, down tick, but that could tick up tomorrow. So I think that he's healthy. He feels good, and we're in the postseason. So you got to be ready when called upon. All hands on deck. So we're trying to win a championship, and if he's the best option, he's going to pitch.
Let's do 2 more, third row in the middle, and then we can finish up with Jim.
Dave, 4 straight road wins. What does it say about the makeup of this team in this group?
A lot. I think a lot of that is experience. You've got to be able to weather, crowd noise, outside noise, some momentum going against you, and to be able to kind of combat that. A lot of it is you've got to have been through it. And a lot of our guys have been through things, and we don't panic, and we sort of kind of stay the course. And so whether you speak to experience, character, makeup, talent, all that stuff, you got to win games on the road. And I think we do a pretty good job of it.
And then let's go back to Jim, 5 or 6 rows back there on the left.
Oh, Skipper, Jim Hill, KCAL9 News. With all the success, with all the success that you and your club have had, and are having, what are the pitfalls that you have to be aware of in order to get back to get that trophy again?
Pitfalls. I think we're prepared. I know we're focused. You got to play well. I know we're not going to beat ourselves. Pitfalls. So, I don't really see any sort of pitfalls. I think our eyes are wide open. We're going to have to get beat. If somebody's going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us. And so that's sport. And so, Jimmy, I don't see any.
All right, thanks, Doc. Appreciate
All
the
right.
time.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Shohei, I know that I'm right here. I know that you've been seeing a lot of lefties. It's, of course, guys trying to be competitive, get you out. When you think about your at-bats, looking to get back on track, you had the RBI base hit yesterday. How are you feeling offensively and kind of just, if you have tried to make any adjustments or if you're looking to make some adjustments, can you just kind of talk through that, please?
対左の対戦相手が多くなってますけども、その戦略的に何か調整している部分とか、ヒット打ちましたけども、何か工夫しているところはありますか？
ラインナップの流れ的に僕のところで、ね、レフティが来るっていうのはそういうふうに打線を組んでると思うので、それはもう分かっていることですし、そこでね一本しっかり打てるかどうかが特にランナーのいる場面で試合を左右する場面もあるとは思うので、打てるのかもそうですし、そのムーキー以降にムーキーテオにしっかりといい形でまずはつなげるっていうのが一番基本的な役割かなとは思うので、しっかりとした打席をまずは送れるように、打席のクオリティを高めていくっていうのがまず一番最初にやるべきことかなとは思ってます。
I think it makes sense strategically on their side that they would put a lot of left-handed pitchers against me, and I'm really all focused on just putting up just better quality at bats. And I think in that sense, that's what I'm gonna always be working on. But on the flip side of things, I think it does help us out a little bit that Mookie's facing more lefties. So in that sense, I think there's two folds.
Let's go to David, straight back in the aisle.
Shohei, is it a matter of changing mindset of being aggressive on the first pitch of at-bats? And where do you go as far as your hitting foundations to get back on track whenever you feel like you're a little off?
初球積極性っていうのを高めているのかと、それと何か基礎的なところでバッティング修正していますかと。
基本的にはストライクをしっかり振ってボールを見逃す、これはずっとシーズン中も言ってますし、今更始まったことではないんですけども、それをシーズン中ポストシーズン関わらずしっかりとまずはさっき言いましたけど打席のクオリティをまずしっかりと高めていくっていうのがそういうところにつながってくると思うので、それが結果的にヒットになったりフォアボールをしっかり選べるっていうところにつながってくるかなとは思ってます。
During the regular season and postseason, my approach is pretty much the same, swinging at strikes and not swinging at balls. And as a result of that, then you just see the strikeouts or the walks. Again, as I said, my focus number one is to make sure that I have quality of at-bats.
Let's go to Jack down here in the second row.
Shohei, this year on the days you've pitched and then the days immediately after you've pitched, the offensive numbers haven't been as good. The strikeouts have gone up. Has pitching made it harder on those days to have the kind of offensive success that you want?
登板日、登板の次の日、結果なかなか残せてないっていう成績になってるんですけども、ちょっとピッチングすることによって何か難しいところはあるんですかねと。
なんですけど、去年が逆に言えばあまりそのサンプル的に少ない、DH だけで臨んでるシーズンではあるので、それと比較は単純にはできないですけど、もちろんやらないよりやってる方が体力的にもちろんきついっていうのはそれはシーズン中も同じことではあるので、それが直接的に関係しているかどうかっていうのは分からないですし、体感的にはそうではないなとは思ってますけど、基本的には打撃に関してはやっぱり自分の思っている構え方であったりとか、技術的な部分っていうのがしっかりしてないとなかなか結果に結びつくっていうのは難しい作業ではあるので、ピッチングはもちろん自分がやれることをしっかりやれば いい結果が生まれてくるっていう可能性が高いところではあるので、あんまり関係はないのかなとは思ってます。
I don't necessarily think that the pitching has affected my hitting performance. On the pitching side, as long as I, control what I can control, I feel pretty good about being able to put up results. On the hitting side, just the stance, the mechanics, that's something that, I do. It's a constant work in progress. So I don't necessarily think so. It's hard to say. Again, last year I was DHing full time. This year I started to, incorporate pitching.
Let's go to John, straight back in the middle.
Bigger picture question. Are you happy that you picked the Dodgers, and what are the reasons?
振り返ってドジャースを選んでFA の時にどうですかと。
まだ2年目ですけどね、こうやって2回目のポストシーズンも出れてここまで勝ち上がってこれてるので、まずそれに感謝したいですし、シーズン中もねいろんな選手と去年ともまた違うメンバーで臨んでいるシーズンですけど、本当にチーム一丸となってここまで来ているので、この先もね1試合でも長くできるように頑張りたいなと思ってます。
Yeah, I'm grateful that joining the Dodgers and being able to play in the postseason. It's been a very grateful experience for me, and being able to play with all kinds of teammates this year is a little different than last year. But I'm just really grateful that I'm in this situation and being able to play in this playoff environment.
Let's go to Fabian on the left side in the middle.
Yeah, Shohei, to go back to the two-way thing, Dave had kind of said the other day that he's noticed on days where you're pitching, your at-bats have gotten a little bit shorter. It seems like you're trying to end the bat a little bit quicker. Has it been more difficult to balance the two-way stuff with the postseason environment and sort of everything that comes with that?
監督からがおっしゃってたんですけども、やっぱ登板後の打席がなかなか残せないっていうのはやっぱ難しいのかなと監督はおっしゃってたんですけども、やっぱその影響っていうのはあるんですかねと。
さっき言った通りですね。はい、同じ質問なので。
Same question, so no, my answer is still the same.
Let's go to Sonia on the left side, third row.
Shohei, you've said, of course, that being a two-way player is normal for you. It's kind of your default state. But do you think that getting back to it just after, being a kind of a full-time DH last year has maybe led to some of the differences, like adjusting back to doing both?
二刀流のブランクがあったから少し何かちょっと調整的に難しいと感じてますかねと。
どうなんですかね。あまり関係は、さっきも言ったんですけどないのかなとは体感では思っているので、はい、シーズンの後半もねスケジュール通りに来て打席もそれなりの感覚では遅れてはいたので、はい、さっきの質問と同じ答えにはなるんですけど、あまり関係はないのかなとは感じています。
I know it might sound like I'm saying the same answer again, but yeah, I don't really necessarily think it has really affected. I do feel like I was able to just have a pretty good season offensively, being able to have quality at bats throughout the season. So, it's hard to say, but yes, same answer as before.
Let's go to the second row on the right.
Shohei, in his rookie season, Roki has been in these high leverage situations. How have you seen him emotionally and mentally grow to be able to meet the moment?
ロキ今年新人でこういうポストシーズンで活躍して一応成長っていうのはどう見られていますか。
ロキですか。
ロキです。はい。
そうですね。1年目で難しいところでまたリハビリから帰ってきて中継ぎに配置転換されて難しいシチュエーションだとは思いますけど、本当に頼もしいピッチングが毎試合してくれてるなと思いますし、守っているみんなもそうですし、ベンチにいるみんなも信頼して送り出していると思うので、はい、安心して見られるなとは思ってます。
Yeah, I think he's been put in a very difficult situation, being his first year, coming back from a rehab, and switching to a reliever role. So I think, in a sense, I'm very impressed with how reliable he has been, and I'm sure the organization, the coaching staff, has been putting him in these high leverage situations with a lot of confidence.
We're going to take two more in English, Beth and then Maria.
Shohei, given what we saw from Snell and Yamamoto in terms of how deep in the game they went, for Game 4, what are you prepared to do physically? How far do you think you could push yourself, given that it is the postseason now?
スネルと吉野が結構長いイニング投げて、翔平はどのぐらい体力的にいけそうですかと。
もちろん2人で素晴らしいピッチングでしたし、本当に頼もしいピッチングだったので、僕もねそれに負けないぐらい長くもちろん投げれれば素晴らしいなとは思いますけど、長いイニングを投げるよりまずはやっぱり最小失点でゼロにまず抑えていくっていう、それを中継ぎもしくはその後ろにつないでいくっていうのが一番大事だとは思うので、一番大事なのは先制点を与えないっていうことがまず一番先発投手にとっては大事なことじゃないかなとは思ってます。
Yeah, I'm very impressed with how Snell and Yoshinobu has been, able to pitch deep into the game. And of course, like ideally, if there's a situation like that, that would be great. But my number one priority is making sure I'm putting up zeros no matter what, and making sure that we're the team that scores first. So for me, that's my number one focus.
Maria.
Shohei, I'm curious, Teo and Kike have had a lot of success so far in the playoffs. What do you see from a hitting perspective when you watch them hit?
テオとキケの打席成功の、何か見えてるところありますかと、打撃面で。
テオに関してもいいところでもちろんヒットもホームランも昨日もそうでしたけど、本当に大きいところで打ってくれて、もちろんキケもそうですけど、キケに関してはどうですかね、決めるところももちろんそうですけど、フォアボールだったりね、ランナーのいないところでダブルもしくは長打でしっかりとスコアリングポジションに進んでいくっていう、そういうチャンスメイクに関しても素晴らしい働きだとは思うので、本当に頼もしい打線の中で本当に切れ目がなくなる、そういう役割かなとは思って頼もしく見てます。
Yeah, in terms of Teo, the ability for him to drive in runs, whether that be a hit or a home run, has been pretty impressive to be able to see. With Kike, he's getting on base, whether that be by walks or by just hitting doubles, and he is really creating the opportunity for us to be able to score. So in that sense, it's been really impressive being able to see and see that our lineup is more full.
よろしくお願いします。打席のクオリティを上げていきたいという話をされてて、でもすでに明日の試合をもう見据えてると思うんですけども、昨日の試合でいうとね、ちょっと不思議に思ったのが、第1打席、第2打席ともストライクをね見送って2ストライクの後に打つっていうようなアプローチだったんですが、そこはやっぱり一番として球数を投げさせたいというのか、それとも自分の中でボールの軌道であったり、ストライクゾーンの確認であったり、どういう意図というかがあったか教えてください。
それ状況によって、違うポジションではありますけど、さっきも言った通り基本的にはストライクを振ってボールを見逃すっていうところだとは思うので、あとはゲームプランによってね、チームのプランもあるとは思うので、ここで言うべきことではないとは思いますけど、そのチームのプランに沿ってしっかりとみんなが打席を送れればいいゲーム運びができるのかなとは思ってます。
ありがとうございます。
Let's go in the middle.
お願いします。昨日ロバーツ監督が4戦目に大谷選手先発して、場合によっては第7戦リリーフで行ってもらう可能性もあるっていうふうにおっしゃってて、あと最近ちょっと何回かセンターでボール拾いみたいなのをしてる場面もあったと思うんですけども、改めてリリーフで行くっていうことについて、可能性があることについての思いと、外野ないし守備につく可能性っていうのをどのように考えているかを改めて教えてください。
現時点では第4戦の先発と、まずは明日の第3戦の、しっかりオフェンス面ですね、そこをまずしっかりフォーカスして臨みたいなとは思っているので、その先はあんまり特には考えてないですし、行けと言われたらね、もう行く準備だけできれば十分かなとは思ってます。
Come to the second row on the left side.
大谷選手、2度目のポストシーズンだからこそ感じることとか考えること、昨年は全てが真新しかったと思うんですけど、今年は今年で投手をやられていたり、ご家族が増えたりしている中で、何か発見などはあったりしますでしょうか。
特に大きく去年と変わったなというところはもちろんないですけど、短期決戦は メジャーリーグのポストシーズンだけではなくてそれなりにはやってきてはいますけど、そこまで大きく、違うなという印象はないのかなと思うので、本当に一戦一戦なんていうんですかね、負けが許されるわけではないですけど、一戦一戦こう集中して臨んで、本当に次につないでいくっていう、みんなでそういうゲーム運びができればいいのかなと思っているので、去年と大きくそこまで感覚的に変わってるなとは思わないですかね。
Third row on the right side.
すみません、お願いします。数日前のオンライン会見でロバーツ監督がこのままの調子ではワールドシリーズ大谷選手がこのままの調子では勝てないっていうのは結構厳しめの言葉を言われてるんですけど、今までの監督ってあんまりそういったことってなかったように思うんですけど、単純にその言葉を聞いてどのように感じたかっていうのをお伺いしたいです。
打てば勝てる、逆に言えばね、打てば勝てると思ってるのかなと思うので打てれば、はい、頑張りたいなとは思ってます。
We'll take one more on the far right in the fourth row.
すみません、よろしくお願いします。ポストシーズン入って、シーズン終盤からですけど、本当に先発陣が非常にいい調子で来ていて、特に昨日の山本由伸投手のピッチングを見てどう感じられたかと、第4戦先発ということで、この流れの中でどうバトンをつなぐというか、ご自身鼓舞されるところがあるかというところをちょっとお伺いしたいです。
本当に素晴らしい出来だったなというか、本当に文句のつけようがないピッチングだったのかなとは思うので、由伸のピッチング見ながらやっぱりその自分のスネルグラスもそうだと思いますけど、自分が投げる時の、ね、こうゲームプランであったりとかっていうのを再確認するっていうゲームの中ではそういう感じでは見てたので、はい、球数的にね最後100球超えてましたけど、最後までこう変わることなくというか、本当に安定した素晴らしいピッチングだったなと思います。
Okay, thank you, Shohei. Appreciate it.